guys, what is up? Welcome back to another episode of Phoenix Wright's Attorney, Trials and Tribulations. In the last episode, we finished cross-examining Bikini, and there's a little bit of a missing testimony here regarding, if she saw the snowmobile or not. But we decided to call Larry over here to confirm if he saw the snowmobile, but instead we have another problem on our hands now, where he saw the burning bridge, but there was like a 15-minute gap in which he arrived there, and then Phoenix arrived at the scene to call the police. So what was he doing during that 15-minute gap? That is what we're going to hear about right now. Let's go. I'm a DeSmuMe. I'm an artist. What do you think I was doing? Sketching in front of the bridge. I was whipped up into a frenzy of art. The shock and awe that I was feeling, I transferred it all directly onto the page. Before I realized that the flames had gone out, and then he came running up. I suppose artists can be strange folk. That's right. I'm willing to sacrifice everything in order to draw the perfect sketch. Including the truth from the sound of it. Mr. Edgeworth, has this removed the last of your doubts? Not at all, Your Honor. One very large doubt still remains. And what would that be? This is a surprisingly believable story, especially considering the source. So why did he think he needed to hide it from us until now? I intend to drag the reason out of him. You'll regret this, Edgy. Will I, though? Will I? I'm a DeSmuMe, I'm an artist. What do you think I was doing? Sketching in front of the bridge. I was whipped up into a frenzy of art. The shock and awe that I was feeling, I transferred it all directly onto the page before I realized that the flames had gone out, and then Nick came running up. Okay. Sketching? The burning bridge? The burning bridge and everything that came with it. What came with it? You want to hear this from my lips, do you, Edgy? You'll regret this, and sketch of mine is gah! Enough. Just take that ridiculous sketch of yours out already, witness. What are you talking about? I don't know what you mean. That does indeed appear to be the fastest solution. I'll leave it to you, Mr. Edgeworth. What should I do? I've got a terrible feeling that the instant the sketch is revealed, the entire world may be changed by what is depicted there. Larry, I wonder if you could show us your sketch, please? Well, even I could never imagine it turned out like this. Imagine what? That DeSmuMe's debut would take place here, today, like this. No! Show it, now. Okay, but steel yourselves. This is the world of I fucked that up. This is the world of DeSmuMe. Well, so this is Dusky Bridge, correct? Quite a large bridge, isn't it? Your response, Miss Von Karma? Yes, well, it's a better drawing than I expected. Isn't it? Is it? I struggled to reproduce those flames. I really did. Yes, I'm sure you did. This is going to get ugly. No one has the bravery to bring it up, it seems. This mysterious flying object. Larry. What? The burning bridge is fine, but what is that unfortunate-looking figure? Ah, you spotted that? I thought you might. However much I might want to ignore it, I can't. It's Iris, of course! Iris! I wish she'd take better care of herself. We have to plan for her future, you know. What would have happened to her if she had injured herself flying like that? Larry, please, answer this next question honestly. Okay. Are you really claiming to have seen this? Are you claiming to have seen the silhouette of the defendant flying over a bridge that was engulfed in flames? Yep, that's what I saw. That's why I drew it. I'm an artist. A real artist. Are you? Hi! The girl! She's really high up in the picture. Are you high, Larry? Ah! What was that for? This is all a bad dream. I was hitting you on the cheek to test that theory. Please whip your own cheek from now on if you wish to test your wild theories. Anyway, no court of law will ever acknowledge that people can fly. Actually, there is some precedent for this. She was flying pretty high, my sweet Iris. She was about 30 feet above the bridge at least. It was really something to see. And this has to be some kind of mistake. Mr. Edgeworth, please bring this bandit back down to earth. What? Me? This witness is your friend, is he not? Accessory to foolishness, Miles Edgeworth. Let us get back to the cross-examination. By force, if necessary. Mr. Edgeworth, I expect you to expose the obvious contradiction here. Yes, Your Honor. Looks like I've got another reason to remember this moron. Well, what did you think of my debut piece? Get that thing away from me! Now hurry up and cross-examine him. I'm a DeSmuMe. I'm an artist. Wait, what the frick? What? What do you mean? What do you mean? Sir, what do you mean? Larry, what did you really see that night? Not that I particularly care. In your position, that's just being irresponsible. I drew exactly what I saw. I'll give you a whole $1 if it's the truth. If that is truly the case, then there is one thing we can say for certain. What might that be? That the person who flew over the bridge could not have been the defendant, Iris. What? What do you mean? I don't understand. Ah! A foolhardy folly of a foolish statement by an equally foolish foolhardy fool. How exactly can you make this claim? Tell us, Larry. According to this picture, the individual whom you say you saw was wearing a hood, correct? Of course she was. And that rundown shack is quite away from the bridge. The hood is what told me that this floating angel was my Iris. The hood is my darling Iris, and Iris is my darling hood. Ah! It seems there are bigger fools in this world than the one at the defense's bench. Larry, there's something you need to be made aware of. On the night of the murder, Iris wasn't wearing her hood. She had given it to Wright as a gift. Are you going to change your story now? Perhaps suggest it was Wright who took the flight? What are you talking about? I think you understand what I mean just fine. Why? Why did Nick have Iris's hood? Huh? Angie, what's going on with Iris and Nick? Why, you Nick, you dog! I do believe that this unbelievably mysterious sketch is destined to disappear, discredited, and discarded straight into the garbage. What is it now, witness? It feels like I've been waiting 25 years for this very day to come. Angie! Today is the day I get to completely stupefy you! What? What is the meaning of your outburst, witness? I hate to have to do this, but I have some definitive evidence. Definitive evidence? Iris did indeed come flying over the burning bridge, and I, Louise DeSmuMe, shall prove it. I didn't expect to ask this again. We shall be needing your testimony once again. Tell us anything you know concerning the defendant as depicted in this sketch, and show us your evidence that this nightmare was actually a reality. Okay, I hope you're ready, Edgy, because I'm gonna feed you a whopping serving of pain! You've been serving us a whopping serving of pain this whole time, trust me. When I reached Dusky Bridge, she was already gone. I was so worried, so I frantically searched all over for her. That led me to finding a beautiful crystal sphere half buried in the snow. I'm sure that Iris was simply wearing a spare hood. After all, no one else could have lost a crystal sphere. Larry, are you stupid? This one. Pretty, isn't it? But finders keepers. That sphere. Where did you find it? Let me see. Around here somewhere? Looks about right. And it was half buried in the snow? It had pretty much stopped snowing by then, but there was still some falling as I walked to the bridge. The court accepts this crystal sphere. That's mine, okay? I want it back afterward. There's something on it, isn't there? Oh my! It's a bloodstain! What? A bloodstain? You ready, Edgy? By tomorrow morning, you'll be calling me Master Larry! Yeah, I like the sound of that! No one's gonna push me around anymore! Didn't you want to be called Larice Denim only a few minutes ago? Master Larice. We're not gonna be calling you that because I already know the contradiction to this. This is all... Oh my god. After all, no one else could have lost a crystal spear. You're wrong. You're stupid. You're so wrong. You are actually so wrong. Larry, that night, there was someone. Someone who lost a crystal sphere. There was? Who? Who was the stupid idiot? Miss Elise Denim, the mentor to a stupid idiot. The victim? I have a photo of her here. And on the end of her staff, you can see a familiar-looking crystal spear. Hey! That's my photograph! Give it back! Ouch! A crystal sphere like that is quite easy to find. I have one just like it on my brooch. They look nothing alike. In any case, please take a look at this. This is the victim's staff found at the scene of the crime. Ah! The crystal sphere! It's gone! What? What does this mean? If anyone jumped or flew across the bridge that night, then it certainly was not Iris, after all. She was not wearing her hood. More importantly, the crystal sphere found at the landing site was not hers either. That means the one who flew and dropped the sphere was the victim, Miss Elise Denim? A fool alongside another fool, on a fool's errand to reach a foolish conclusion. First of all, this sketch, which I prefer to call a scribble, is ridiculous. People cannot fly, thus it is rejected. You can't do that! I saw it with my own eyes! And this crystal sphere, this is nothing more than a red herring. You honestly believe that? Give it some thought and I'm sure you'll realize it as well, Miss Miles Edgeworth. Elise Denim was in her room on the night of the murder. There was no reason for her to go to Dusky Bridge. Therefore, this sphere cannot be related to this case. That is all. Miss Francisco von Karma, the only people who will accept that explanation are scatterbrains and clowns. Why are you pointing at me? The victim's crystal sphere was found near the bridge on the night of the murder. Yet you expect us to believe that this has nothing to do with the case? That crystal sphere, it was probably thrown away at the bridge after the murder. After the murder? There was blood on the crystal sphere, isn't there? This naturally suggests that it was thrown away after the murder took place. The killer placed it there to throw the investigation off the scent. The same reason that he drew that ridiculous sketch. What? You mean, I'm the killer? No, what? Enough joking. Just when did this crystal sphere appear at the foot of the bridge? Unless this can be proven in some way, I refuse to believe this is related to the case. She makes a valid point. There was no evidence that Elise Denim left Hazakura Temple that night. However, if somehow this crystal sphere can be proven to have been dropped before the victim was killed, then this case is going to transform into something else entirely. Your response, Mr. Edgeworth? I want your final opinion on the disposition of this crystal sphere. If it is not related to the case, then this witness who you called will have been nothing more than a monumental waste of time. Prepare yourself for some very appropriate punishment, Miles Edgeworth. Can I prove it? Can I prove that the crystal sphere was dropped before the murder took place? I don't know. Not that. I don't know. We'll give it a shot. I don't know. Can I prove it? That isn't the issue. To simply prove it. That's the only option. That's what he'd do. That's the way Phoenix Wright would do this. Your Honor, allow me to provide something to you. Prove something to you. I will prove that this crystal sphere is a vital link to solving this case. You will do what? That look in your eyes. You remind me of Phoenix Wright when he is cornered. That should come as no surprise, because right now I am Phoenix Wright, and I am indeed cornered. I order you to present your evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. Evidence that proves that the crystal sphere was indeed dropped before the murder. Ha 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 ha, I don't know. Oh, dear God, help me. Do we have the crystal ball as evidence? Found half covered in snow near Dusky Bridge on the night of the crime. Has blood on it. This crystal sphere, it was half buried in the snow, correct? That's right. If it hadn't stopped snowing then, it would have been game over. The snow would have totally covered it. That's all I needed to hear from you, Larry. Your testimony makes one thing quite clear. What? When the crystal sphere was dropped, it was snowing, even if it was ever so slightly. Snowing? On the other hand, let us look at the scene of the murder. As proven earlier today, there is no snow on the victim's body. Ah! Therefore, the crystal sphere must have been dropped before the murder. What? Order! On the night of the murder, the victim did indeed go to Dusky Bridge, and there, something occurred that caused this crystal sphere to come loose. What could that have been? This sphere, there's some blood on it, isn't there? Allow me to raise a certain possibility at this junction. The real crime scene was near the foot of Dusky Bridge. The murder didn't take place in the Hazakura Temple courtyard? Only a fool would suggest such a foolish piece of absolute foolishness. Just who is the fool, and which part is so foolish, Miss Von Karma? Have you been paying any attention this whole time, Miles Edgeworth? The sister saw everything. She saw the victim being killed by the defendant in the Hazakura Temple courtyard. That's not exactly true, now is it? To put it more precisely, what she saw was the murder weapon being removed from the victim's body. But that's the same thing! No, it isn't! You said it yourself. Very little blood is actually lost at the moment of a blade's insertion. If you want to talk about when the most blood would be lost from a body, that would be when the blade is removed. If that statement is the truth, then Dusky Bridge could very easily be the scene of the murder. The murder weapon was not removed, thus there was no bleeding. You are forgetting one vital thing, Miles Edgeworth. Elisa Nim's body was found in Hazakura Temple. On foot, it takes 15 minutes to travel from Dusky Bridge to Hazakura Temple. You mean to suggest that someone carried the body all that way? I've made it this far. The only place to take this is to the end. I just need to prove the possibility it happened as I presume. Now, if the defense is ready, the court would like to have an explanation. Please show us the method by which the victim's body was carried to Hazakura Temple. Snowmobile. On that snowy night, there is one way that a body could have been moved. The snowmobile. As we know, the snowmobile was used that night. It was explained as having been used to dispose of the murder weapon, but it could also have been used to carry a body. Order! Yeah! This is completely unacceptable, Miles Edgeworth. You've dug yourself into your own grave. What do you mean? The only one who could have used the snowmobile was the defendant. She's the one who moved the body. Doesn't that put the final nail in your coffin? You're too late, Francisco von Karma. And in fact, the defense has proven something else entirely. We have shown that this case requires further investigation. What? Where was the victim, Elise and him, really killed? If her body was moved, whatever for? And finally, just what does this image mean? Do you even need to think about that? Such a creature could never see the truth, let alone describe it. This witness certainly sits on one of the lowest possible branches of humanity. However, he would never utter a lie that could hurt a girl with whom he is enamored. He drew this, so it is something that actually happened. The defense stands firm on this point. Edgy! Thank you. That settles it then. I cannot give a verdict under these circumstances. Right. I seem to have fulfilled my part in this. It is just as I thought. Francisco von Karma, you make a wonderful partner. Excuse me? There was one reason, and one reason alone, for me being here. To expose the darkness lurking in this case, and then pass it on to Wright. Really? That's what this was all about? You could have just told me that from the very beginning. And then I wouldn't have had Francie with me all— Ouch! Miles Edgeworth, I don't care about what you were here to do. This was my chance to finally grind you under my heel. A shame that your chance seems to have slipped by you. What a shame. Francie! This is all your fault. Such a terrible witness. You are an affront to all the legal system stands for. I demand satisfaction. Oh no! I cannot believe that the witness's testimony relates to an actual event. However, there has to be some sort of answer for the questions it raises. Have his words here today been truth or lies? Next time we gather in this courtroom, those are the matters that shall be addressed. I am counting on thorough investigations by both the defense and the prosecution. And with this, the rest is up to you, Wright. Court is now adjourned. There it is. This time we're going to stop on the to be continued. Obviously. Alright. Well, that's it for this episode. Let's roll the end card.
Objection! You haven't hit like and subscribe yet! Hold it! You forgot to ring the bell to get notified whenever I upload! Take that! Click here to watch more of my videos! Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye!